All right, preparing. All right. Great evening, everyone. We are live and I'm so excited. I have my business partner here, my big bro. Listen, let me say something first. Set the stage here. You're talking about an international bestseller, Best Times bestseller, New York's Best Times bestseller, life coach, mentor, a strategist, financial expert, multiple years in financial and different things of that nature. Helped so many, won so many awards on the cover of magazines for his financial accomplishments. Him and his wife traveled the world educating on a financial campaign, multiple seven-figure earner. Not only that, a husband, a father, a friend, and most importantly, a man of faith, a man of principle, and a man that has a kingdom mindset. I'm so honored to be on live with my brother, my business partner, the financial gentleman, Mr. Rory Douglass. How are you doing, brother?
Jonathan, man, listen, man. Thank you for that introduction, man. Listen, I'll tell you, iron sharpens iron, and you know that. So it's really all about a mirror. You just a reflection of myself. I'm a reflection of you, and that's what it's all about. I'm glad, man. I'm happy to be able to jump on live this evening to have a brief conversation with you, because this particular conversation is really for you. We're having this conversation, although you introduced me, I really want to highlight you also too, because you quite naturally a man of faith. And not only that, you're a family man, and you've accomplished a lot of things also too. And it's just the beginning, because you're doing a lot of other things also too. But I pretty much want to ask you some questions and just have a conversation with you. But for those of you who don't know, that Jonathan, not only is he a man of the cloth, he's also a businessman. He's an entrepreneur. And I always tell people that there's a big difference from being an entrepreneur versus just being a business person. A lot of people don't realize that in order to be an entrepreneur, you have to be willing on turning your 9 to 5 to your 6 to 9. I'm going to say that again. You got to be willing on turning your 9 to 5 to your 6 to 9. What do I mean by that? In other words, if you're working a job, when you get off work, you got to start your business. I'm going to say that again. If you're working a job, when you get off work, you have to start your business. As a matter of fact, that's how you liberate yourself. And see, there's nothing wrong with having a job, but I always tell people your job is what you get paid for, but your dream, your destiny is what you were made for. I'm going to say that again. Your job is what you get paid for, but your dream, your destiny is what you were made for. And there's so many people today that never lived their dream, never fulfilled their destiny. So I always tell people one of the richest places on the planet is the cemetery. There's more buried dreams there, more buried ideas there. So you and I are one of the ones who dare to believe our dream. That's why we're fulfilling our dream. So I always tell people, your dreams are not a figment of your imagination. It's just showing you glimpses of your future. So, Jonathan, what I wanted to ask you, just starting, because I consider you as an entrepreneur, and it's a word I made up, and people are probably going to laugh about it. It's the word is a wantrepreneur. It's slang, a wantrepreneur. There's a big difference between an entrepreneur and a wantrepreneur. An entrepreneur is a person that goes after their dreams. They turn their 9 to 5 to their 6 to 9. They fire their boss. A wantrepreneur is a person that always want to do something, but never pull the trigger. It never happens. They just want. And I really want some things to stick to those who are looking right now. I want something to stick in your mind. See, here's the thing. And I want to give some nuggets, Jonathan, that we have two mindsets. We have the conscious mind and we have the subconscious mind. Now, I want to deal with the conscious mind. The conscious mind is tied to your emotions, your feelings, your sensories. That's the conscious mind. And the subconscious mind has no emotions, no feelings, no sensory. Most people operate in their conscious mind. So everything is according to how they feel.
Wow.
So if you're ever going to get to the next level, you have to have the Nike mentality. Just do it. See, here's the problem. When the conscious mind is not meant to figure things out, I want people to write that down. That conscious mind is not meant to figure things out.
Yes.
But the conscious mind basically go according to what the spirit tells it. So if the spirit says, hey, I'm going to build a business, I'm going to be a millionaire, and then it comes out of your mouth in the conscious. And then the first thing the person tries to do is to figure it out. Conscious mind is not wired that way. Yes. So you got to have the Nike mentality. You just have to do it. Don't try to figure it out. Just do it. Sometimes you got to do it scared, but just do it. Just do it. Just do it. That's what it's all about. So I'm telling everyone out there that's listening, you got to have that Nike mentality. Once again, just do it. I'm telling you, just don't try to figure it out. And when you just do it and do it and do it, guess what happens? You start to get results. Not only do you start to get the results, you begin to become consistent. And listen to this. Consistency is the key to success. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to know the most. But if you're consistent and you do it repeatedly, guess what happens? You run into your success. So don't try to figure it out, you guys. Just go to work. Just do it. But anyway, we're talking about finance, and I'm excited about that because Jonathan, as well as myself, we are financial educators. And a financial educator is basically a person that educates countless amount of Americans. You see, in the old financial world, people had a disservice. They got products and services, but they never got financial education. When I was a kid, I remember the insurance man used to come to the house, Jonathan, and just pick up a check. He never stopped and talked about compounding interest. He never stopped and talked about taxes and how to become your own bank, all these things that we know. So you and we're on a mission to spread financial literacy. And right now, as we speak in America, the average American is about 1 to 2 paychecks away from being homeless, and about 1 out of 3 Americans in debt. I'm going to say that again. I digress. The average American is about 1 to 2 paychecks away from being homeless, and 1 out of 3 in debt. And guess what? It's not a money problem. It's a lot of money out there. It's a literacy problem, a lack of financial education. So that's what Jonathan, as well as myself, is all about. We're all about financial education. We're all about, and we're all about helping people pursue their purpose in the areas of financial education. We're living right now in America, seeing people laying on the streets, sleeping under freeways in one of the richest places, but yet people are poor. And by the way, poor is not an offensive word. Poor just stands for passing over opportunities repeatedly. You just know what you don't know. So we're so passionate about financial education, Jonathan, and you know exactly that's what I'm all about financial education, empowering people, spreading the knowledge, and you're doing the same thing. But I want to ask you a question, my friend. What made you to decide to pretty much get into the financial industry? And not only that, you know, our interaction, meeting one another. What made you decide to get into the financial industry and not only get into it and dominate, get into it and help people, get into it and also lead from the front in this financial literacy crusade. What made you get into it? I just really want to ask you that question as people listen to us talking right now.
Well, I appreciate it, my brother. What made me get into it? Long story short, I was contemplating about everything that I was taught about wealth and success. We were taught, go to school, get a job, go to school, get a good education so you can get a high paying job. You work for a certain amount of years. You work hard. You're a good worker. You're faithful on your job. You're going to get some kind of retirement. You're going to get Social Security. You're going to have a nice white picket fence, split level house, and 2 and 3 cars. And I started to think about it. I'm like, janitors work hard. Single parent mothers work hard, but I don't see them wealthy. I don't see them succeeding like we were told. And long story short, I said, I have to figure out where people that have a lot of wealth is at. And with a lot of study, I learned the financial industry is where the wealthy go to grow their money, build their money, and create lasting legacies and also great occupations and income for their families. Now, when it comes to you, I was blessed through my wife to meet you. And I immediately was connected to you because I'm like, this is someone that I can pattern and modern myself after. Someone that's been there and done it, has seen a lot of success, who's serious, who wants to do something big. I never forget. You said, if I don't want to do anything big, this is not the right opportunity. This is not the right place for you. But if you want to do something big, you want to change your life, you want to change your legacy, then this is the place for you. And that's what made me join this industry and specifically build and connect with you in business.
Wow. You know, it's funny that you said that, Jonathan, because, you know, what you said earlier, if we break it down, let's just think about it. We go to school in America for over 14 years. We learn nothing about credit, real estate, how money works, banking. 50% of a worker's monthly income in America today goes toward rent or mortgage. Think about that. So people are trading their time for money and they can't get ahead. So how are you going to put your kids through college? How are you going to be able to have generational wealth following the current system? It's a broken system. You know, as long as we are working for money, we'll never be wealthy. We'll never be financially stable. The whole goal is to allow your money to work for you. That's when you begin to go down the path of generational wealth. And not only that, getting your finances in order. You have to have that mentality to know that I cannot trade my time for money. I have to allow my money to work for me in order to get ahead. That means that most people, they don't plan to fail in life, but they fail to have a plan. So this system is broken. And I'm glad that you saw that. And not only did you see that, you pretty much took the information and you ran with it. And right now, I would ask you, like, you've been involved with the financial industry, you know, for a little time here. What have you learned? Has it bettered you in life in general? Has it given you a different perspective? Has it alleviated a lot of stress? Did it make you begin to really be able to see your future?
Yes. We can talk another 5-6 hours about the impact and things
like
I've learned. But the main thing, Rory, is this. I've always had a heart to help people, and I've always wanted to make a big impact in the earth, but I just never knew how I was going to get the funding, because I know to make a big impact, I'm going to have to fund it, or else I'm going to have to answer to how someone else wants me to spend their money. So I always needed this amount of money to help and impact people's lives, but I never knew how I was going to get it. Now I know how I'm going to get that funding. I know how I'm going to be able to have a house and a car and businesses and cash flow for my daughter. I know how I can help and train and change the generation, so by the time they graduate, they're already set. The life makes sense now. I understand why certain people win in life and why certain people lose in life. and I understand the principle behind it. So now, I mean, I am so fired up. It's like all my guns. You ever saw the movies where they're going out to war and they load all their guns up
Yeah,
in
yeah.
their
Going
bags?
out to
That's
battle.
how I feel. I'm
Yes,
ready to go, and I'm so excited about it.
yes, yes. And I'm glad that you said that because I always tell people that there is a lot of rich people who are poor.
Mm,
And you can have a lot of money. However, if you don't know what to do with it, that's another thing, because that's why we see a lot of people go broke. Sports players go broke within 5 years. And we see a lot of people make a lot of money, but they can't hold on to it. That's why I said earlier that as long as we're working for money, we'll never be wealthy. And that's exactly what we were taught. So the bottom line is that today, the average millionaire has multiple streams of income, and the average American has 2 jobs. So the bottom line is you and I, we advocate and we show people how to have money for a lifetime and not at lunchtime by having multiple streams of income. So the financial industry is not a job, it's an opportunity.
yes.
And not only is it an opportunity, it's an opportunity for everyone because it's the highest paid industry. And what really surprised me is that you don't get this information that often. It's the highest paid industry, and it's one of those things that are taboo. You have to get it in-house. It's not something that you're going to get. And then not only that, the average financial advisor today is in their late 50s. So right now, the financial industry is suffering from being replaced. But however, the old industry, Jonathan, they didn't educate anyone. So now in this new industry, we get a chance to educate people, help so many people, and that's what it's all about. So I always tell people that in this industry, you can start off on a part-time basis making about $1,300 an hour. And most people don't even know that. You can start off on a part-time basis making about $1,300 an hour. As I said before, it's not so much about the money, but the bottom line is there's a big difference between being rich and wealthy.
Yeah.
I would trade wealthy every day from being rich. So those you guys who are listening, I want you to listen to this. The true meaning of wealth is all needs met. All needs met. That's the true meaning of wealth. All needs met. What I mean by that? If you got a roof over your head, you got food to eat, you got people to support you and love you. If you don't have people to support you, but you got people, you have loved ones who love you, you're wealthy. That's what it's all about. If you know who you are and whose you are, and you got a plan for your life, you are wealthy.
Yes.
And so many people, they may have a lot of money, but they don't really have any wealth. That's why financial education is so important, because once you educate yourself financially, not only are you going to learn about finance, not only are you going to get the riches, but you're going to have the wealth, which means that if you lose it, you can always get it back. That's what it's all about. So wealth is so important. And Jonathan, I want to ask you this also too. What inspires you to inspire others? What inspires you to get up every day and decide to go out there and empower people? Like, what inspires you?
Well, really what inspires me, I remember a time where I didn't have a will to live anymore. I mean, I was at the lowest of my low, and I was praying to God, just take my spirit. I don't want to deal with this anymore. Nothing in my life is going right. Nothing is going the way that I want it to go. And I was through. And in this day and time now, people may be feeling like that. What's the point? The pandemic, global pandemic, health scare, volatility in the market, people are being laid off. So many different things are happening in education. They have kids in classrooms on Zooms. No teacher in the classroom. Teachers on strike, airplane industry, they're on strike. People need hope. People need something to believe in. People need certainty in their lives. And I look at people and I remember the time, like I shared earlier, where I was trying to figure out how am I going to amass this wealth to impact people. But I knew what I was taught was not going to get me there. And I feel a lot of people, they're just bumping against that wall of doing the best they can, working 2 and 3 jobs, working overtime, trying to save, doing this and doing that. And it's like they never get ahead. And I get inspired to be able to share with them the wealth secrets, the principles, and the keys that's going to help them to get past that brick wall. It's going to get past them off the rat race. It's going to get past that frustration of I'm doing all I can, but it seems like it's never enough. So that's what motivates me.
Wow. You know, it's funny that you mentioned that because once again, you developed that Nike mentality. You basically fought against all that negativity and you went after your dream. And that's what it's all about. And I always tell people this is important. You know, people get comfortable and set in their ways. And comfortability is the enemy towards success. I'm going to say that again. Comfortability is the enemy toward your success. We're not meant to be average. We're not meant to just stay in the same place. We're meant to grow. And I really want to inspire someone that's looking right now or someone that's listening. If you're in a place right now where you feel like you just want to throw in the towel, where you want to give up, you have no hope, like Jonathan just expressed where he was, I want you to know that at the same depth of your trial, I'm talking about what you're going through, the things that you're dealing with, it can be unimaginable. At the same depth of your trial, God wants to bless you at the same depth. But you got to be willing on going through the trial to reach the victory. So I want to tell you who's listening and looking right now, I want you to come alive again. I'm encouraging you to believe your dream if you had one before. Because see, you got to have something to go to in order to get to the next level. So I always tell people, focus on what you're going to and not through. I'm going to say that again. Focus on what you're going to and not through. You got to rehatch your dream again. You got to believe one more time. And you got to focus on what you're going to and not through. I said it earlier. That conscious mind is not meant to figure things out. I want to encourage someone to get at it again and go toward your dream. Nike mentality. Just do it. Just do it. That's what it's all about. And I'm telling you that if you do that, you're going to feel better and things will turn around. Because I'll tell you guys this, after every storm, there's always a rainbow, but you got to hang in there. You can't give up. You can't give in. That's what it's all about. And Jonathan, I always tell people that 90% of winning, I think people should write this down, 90% of winning is simply excitement. You got to get excited. And here's the crazy part. If you can get excited in that dark hour, you're ready to get to the next level. I'm telling you, you're ready to get to the next level. See, some of us, we feel like there's no hope, but you don't even realize how close you are to your breakthrough. See, the bottom line is that if you want to get to the next level, you have to go through something. That's what it's all about. So you're just going through something in life right now. But I really want to encourage you that you have everything it takes. That's right. You who's listening, looking, you got everything it takes to win. Not only that, you got greatness inside of you, but you got to rehatch your dream again. You have to give it another shot. And I'm telling you, you'll get through. Not only would you get through, you'll get to the next level. So Jonathan, listen, man, I'm glad that we had this conversation. And I just wanted to jump on, man, and have a conversation with you, an open conversation. But before we get off, man, I want to ask you, what are your plans coming up in 2024? What should people be looking out for? And I keep thinking about it when that book is coming out also too. But what should people be looking out for from Jonathan?
What you can look out for from me is a lot of heart-to-heart conversations like this. I think a lot of times people can come off and miss some great information because it's not communicated in the best way. I really want to pour out my heart and express to you all strategies in the mindset, because wealth first begins in the mind first. As the mind leads, the man follows, as I like to say. The Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So I want to show people the mental shift that is necessary to get to where they're going. And also, you can be looking for me to do a lot of live seminars. You can look for me to travel. And also, you're going to look to see me more with my business partner, as well as other business partners, because I want to give you all a lot of different perspectives. Also, I am working on actually a few books, Rory. So y'all can be looking out for some books to be coming out as well. And just some great things. I'm going to give a lot of insight and information. Next year, we're going to have some retirement webinars as well, focusing in on retirement, because I don't know if y'all know, 2024 is projected to be a rough year in the market. So I really want to give y'all some great education, prep you all, give you some great information for you all, and some strategies, not just talking about it, but some strategies of how you can position yourself to still win, even though we're going into some tough times in 2024.
Wow, oh man, listen, man, you just rocked my world with that. Hey, you guys, tough times don't last, but tough people do. I'm gonna say that again. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. And guess what? You're tough. You have everything it takes to win. Jonathan, man, I approve this message, man. And thank you for having this conversation with me. Listen, you guys, if you're looking and listening, and you're hearing it from the financial gentleman, this is my business partner. Make sure you book an appointment with him. Make sure you start a conversation with him. I'm telling you, your life will never be the same. Jonathan, thank you once again, man. And not only that, give your regards to your queen. You guys are so incredible. And once again, you guys, connect with Jonathan. I'm telling you, he's on the mission to educate people, to give people financial literacy. And Jonathan, once again, take care, my man. I believe in you. God bless you.
Thank you so much, my brother. Y'all have a great rest of y'all evening.
You too.